What's up? Welcome back. These are the AirPods Pro, and as of this week, they are officially 1 year old. And personally, I think they've really stood up to the test of time. Let me explain. So let's start with a recap. Obviously, the two main features that make the AirPods Pro are noise cancellation and transparency mode. Myself, these two features were the primary reasons that I bought the AirPods Pro in the first place. When it comes to noise cancellation, you obviously can't expect it to work quite as well as over-ear headphones. But considering the package that these things fit into, I am very impressed with what these things are able to filter out. Especially when I'm around town, on the bus, in the car, or in generally noisy environments, they're able to block out a large amount of the noise in an otherwise very loud environment. As for transparency mode, I'm incredibly impressed with how well this feature works. On multiple occasions, I've actually completely forgotten that the AirPods were in my ears because they do just such a great job of passing the audio through in real time. It's a really useful feature for when you suddenly need to listen to somebody who's talking to you while you're also trying to listen to your music or your podcasts. Part of what makes these features work so well, though, is the new design. The AirPods Pro are completely redesigned from generations 1 and 2. Primarily, they feature interchangeable silicone tips that provide an even greater seal between your music and the outside world. This obviously helps to improve the noise cancellation feature, but it also makes for a more coherent listening experience overall. In the past, with generations 1 and 2 of the AirPods, you'd commonly push them into your ear or cover your ears in an effort to more clearly hear the audio that is playing. And with the silicone tips, need for that is completely gone. That said, there are cases where the silicone tips are sort of annoying. Whenever pressure is applied to your ear, it sort of feels like it's going through your entire head, pushing on your brain. It's really uncomfortable. This means that when you're trying to use them in bed, lying on your side, or using a pillow or something, it's even more uncomfortable than it was with generations 1 and 2, which were already pretty bad. Because of this discomfort when pressure is applied, Apple has introduced some new controls on the tip that allow you to squeeze instead of tap, which I find to be a lot nicer and negates the need for any tapping or pressure on your ears. The gestures are pretty similar to the way they were before, although they do take some getting used to. One feature that took me especially long to get used to was the lack of a pinch to activate Siri. This is because in the new Generation 2 and AirPods Pro chip, they now incorporate Hey Siri directly into the software. But the new features don't just stop at Hey Siri. One of the main reasons that I'm making this video about the AirPods Pro a year later is because the features that they include have actually changed. Some of these features that I'm going to talk about were released in iOS 13 a couple years ago, but the majority were released in iOS 14 and include things like announcing notifications, automatic switching, and spatial audio. Notification announcements is essentially Siri announcing the messages that you receive through your headphones. It allows you to easily respond to your messages by simply saying reply and then your message. And it's especially useful on a bike ride or a run or any other occasion where you wouldn't necessarily be able to easily grab your phone out of your pocket and reply. The next feature that they introduced to the AirPods was automatic switching. This feature was released in iOS 14, and I did talk about it a tiny bit in my video about iOS 14, so make sure to watch that video if you're interested. Essentially what it does is it allows you to easily switch what device you're listening on in real time. So if you're watching Netflix on an iPad and suddenly need to leave, you can just start playing your music on your phone and it'll pause the Netflix and start playing your music on your AirPods. The final update Apple has released to the AirPods is called Spatial Audio. This is some really incredible technology that basically allows you to have a full surround image of what's happening with just 2 AirPods. It's an astounding technology, and I'm really excited to see it rolled out to YouTube, Netflix, and other apps in the future. But of course, no matter the features or the audio quality, now that this is technically a dated product, it's important to ask, are they still worth it a year later? Technology is always getting better and cheaper, and that even applies to Apple, even though it doesn't always seem that way. By now, you can get the Generation 1 AirPods for around $80 on eBay, which is a good deal, but they don't include some of the main selling points for the AirPods Pro. Things like spatial audio, automatic switching, Hey Siri, and a lot more are just not included in the original generation. As for future products, I don't see any big changes expected for the next few years. The AirPods Pro were their own redesign, and therefore we really won't see many new features in years to come. That's all I have to say for now, though. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, you know? If you have any questions or anything, make sure to leave a comment. I'd be glad to respond to them, and I read every single comment. But otherwise, yeah, have a great day. Hey, have you followed me on Twitter yet? Because you should do that. Okay, bye.